The left side of the violin should rest on the shoulder. Free, handy, practical. Finding the best position of the violin on the left depends largely on how tall the violinist is, as well as on the size of her or his hands. The longer the arms, the wider the distance must be between the hands, the instrument always pointing to the left. The shorter the arms, the closer they must be. This is extremely important for the bow moving parallel to the bridge, a question we will come back to later. A few words about the use of a shoulder rest or shoulder cushion. Many violinists argue, understandably, that the use of a shoulder cushion would diminish the sound power of the violin. The great violinist Leonid Kogan, one of my professors, played all his life with a tiny sponge cushion he put under his jacket. Kogan was not very tall, and a bigger supportive device could only have bothered him. I suggest that if a beginning violinist whose neck is long enough feels more at ease with a shoulder sponge or shoulder rest, there is no reason to prevent her or him from using it. Of course, it shouldn't be too high, nor should it block the shoulder when one is playing. If the student prefers to play without, it is essential to make sure she or he doesn't lift the shoulder. This said, when we shift, the head supports the instrument a little, and the shoulder moves slightly upward. At that same moment, the elbow being in the axis of the movement of the left hand should have the mobility needed to possibly go down a little and assure the violin's stability. Where to put the thumb is an important issue for the correct conduct of the left hand. In modern practice, the place of the violin is certainly not the space between thumb and palm, as was the custom in some older schools. The thumb must be more or less facing the space between the index finger and the middle finger. The right side of the violin must slightly tilt downward, the angle being around 45 degrees. If its position is too flat or too vertical, it will badly influence the sound quality. At what height should you hold your violin? The answer to this question depends, of course, for an important part on the physiological structure of the violinist's body, her or his size, the length of her or his arms, her or his neck, etc. There are different opinions regarding this subject. The great majority of teachers insisting that the violin be kept as high as possible. I do not completely share this idea. The instrument must be held at the height that permits the bow to be posed at the right angle. If this is not the case, the position of the violin will make it difficult to produce a good sound